have a practice. And so all of my contact information is on the sheet. My email is saidehbrowne@gmail.com, my phone number, and the website is thebrowncenter.org. So feel free to just log on to the Browne Center. It's a really good interactive blog with videos, health and wellness tips, nutrition tips, and things like that. The foundational statement for tonight is by Tom Thiss. Having a purpose is the difference between making a living and making a life. So as we look down our sheet, we're going to talk about destiny, fate, purpose, what is more meaningful, destiny or fate, what do I enjoy, and then we're going to talk about that thing that you enjoy. Is that your purpose, your destiny, or your fate? So before we get started, does anybody want to share? I know I kind of wrote on the sheet what I think your destiny is, but does anybody want to share what they think what does destiny mean to you? Or does it kind of match what I put on the sheet?
For me, it matches what you put on the sheet. I am in the discovery process.
Right.
I'm just not sure.
Right.
And I find that I become kind of helter-skelterish, like you said, all over the place.
Right.
Because it's like I have such wonderment.
Right.
With so many different things, and I think that's become my biggest problem, that I'm intrigued
By so much?
Yeah, and I think that's what's, starting out, I've always been interested in like psychology and legal, because I love the way the mind works.
Right.
I love
so do I.
brainstorming. I
Right,
love,
right.
just,
Right.
and then it goes into health, and then it goes into teaching.
Because there's so many branches, and it starts to spin off and spin off.
Right, and then I become crazy, and then I become like,
Does it become overwhelming because
too
it's now
overwhelming,
spun off
because
into
I don't
so many
know,
things?
I've not been able to grasp,
Right.
specifically any
Right.
concrete
Welcome to my
direction.
Right. Well, we're going to address that tonight, most definitely. When we talk about destiny, I believe that destiny is, as it states, the predetermined course of events. It's going to go down. No matter how you look at it, it's going to go down. When we start talking about fate, I believe that fate is a series of events that determines your destiny. A lot of people use fate and destiny interchangeably, and I don't believe at the core of my being that's true. The same way people choose spirit and soul and use those interchangeably, I believe that they're two distinctly different things. So when we're talking about destiny, I really believe that is ultimately where you're going to go. And when we talk about fate, I believe it's that path that leads us to where we ultimately end up. And so I do believe that there is a big distinction between destiny and fate. And when you talk about, I think this is where I'm supposed to go, and then it branches off to something else, and then it branches off to something else, and now it's branched off into so much that you're like, how in the world did I get here? That brings us to the third point of tonight, which is purpose. And we're really going to dig into purpose, because if you're walking in your purpose, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do according to your purpose, that changes the direction of your fate, because fate is the series of events which ultimately lead you to your destiny. So if you're not walking in your purpose, you can't create or have this series of events that are working for your greatest good lead you to your destiny. Does that kind of make sense?
Makes
Does that make sense? Good. Okay, perfect.